In a world where you can do so many things, right? You have so many gifts and talents. So for you, why become an actor?
I was going to college to be a physical therapist. And for my elective, I took an acting for non-majors. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I want to do. So I called my mom and I said, Mom, I'm gonna be an actor. She was like, girl, if you don't go back and change your major, like she wasn't supportive. She was not supportive. And it didn't stop me though, because I knew when I was in that class, I felt alive.
One big show that you have had the privilege of being a part of is Euphoria. What was the audition process like for that?
Euphoria was a typical audition. Saw every Black actress that I grew up watching, and immediately I had imposter syndrome. My manager called, I think maybe the next day, and he's like, so you're going straight to chemistry read. And I'm like, what? And he was like, oh, and yeah, by the way, you'll be playing the mother of Zendaya. I was like,
come on.
I'm like, what? That's all God. I was right where I needed to be. You know, God had to remind me that you may feel like you're inadequate, but sometimes in your inadequacy, I need you to trust me, because what this looks like as just a role on a TV show, it's gonna be so much bigger. Come on.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Hitting Your Mark, a show where I get to sit down with creative people who I believe are definitely hitting their mark. And my next guest today, she is an actress, a comedian, and a woman of faith. This is none other than the Miss Nika King. How's it going, Miss Nika?
Thank you for that wonderful introduction. Everything is great. Everything is well.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for being here on the platform with me.
Of course.
I appreciate it. This is a new season for me. You know, of it's called Ben Just Do It.
Okay.
It's called It's called Ben Just Do It, and we don't know each other at all. But I just simply I saw you. I was like, you know what? I think it should be dope to have her on. You know, she doesn't know me, but I'm just gonna take a risk and message you and see what happens.
And look at God.
And look at God.
Won't he do it? Yes. Won't he will?
You said yes, and I'm super grateful for that.
Of course.
Look, the title for today's episode I would love to focus on, I'm gonna call this the reality of a working actor.
Okay.
I think a lot of people, you know, they look at actors as the glitz and glamour of it, but they don't really know the reality of it. I mean, I feel like we'll have a dope conversation about that.
Oh yeah.
But I'd love to start with the beginning with you. In a world where you can do so many things, right? You have so many gifts and talents. So for you, why become an actor?
The why is something that I'm still trying to answer. I've always been outgoing. I was the kid who knew all the poems by Maya Angelou and Langston Hughes. I would get in front of the family, perform, do that little thing you do.
Yeah.
You know, started really, really young performing. And so I didn't know that was being an actor. Right?
Okay.
Nobody actually sat me down and said, you know, this is a career, this is something that you can actually achieve.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just always been like, I've always been a natural performer. So the why is coming to me as I'm, you know, booking gigs and doing great things in my career.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately it boils down to following your path when you don't know what it's gonna be at the end. And so I'm literally in my path. I'm an actor today. That may not be so in a month or 2 months. I'm listening to the Most High, and and He's saying, you're creative, you're outgoing, you're an actor, but there's so much more on this path.
Come on now, I love it. There's so much more. You talked about early on, knowing that you had these love of like learning poems, and you had this personality. So the day that you said that I wanted to become an actor, was that a thing that like your family was like, yeah, like go do that, or was it like, I don't know, you should probably do something a little more safe than that?
Nah, you know I'm in a Black family, so you know ain't nobody encouraged me to go out and be an actor. But I was going to college to be a physical therapist. And for my elective, I took an acting for non-majors. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I want to do. So I called my mom and I said, Mom, I'm gonna be an actor. She was like, girl, if you don't go back and change your major, like she wasn't supportive. She was not supportive. And it didn't stop me though, because I knew when I was in that class, I felt alive. And it reminded me of the things that I loved to do as a child, get on stage, perform, dance. And I said, this is my life.
Yeah.
I've always been like rebellious in a way. So it was like, her telling me, get a real job, that's not a real job. It made me, think, because I was like, I don't know anybody who's a working actor.
Yeah.
And this is a real commitment. And I stuck with it and I graduated and, the rest is history. Here I am.
So at first Mom was, she was a little discouraging, I guess, with the whole dream. But I'm sure now, does she was there a certain point where she saw like, oh, this is actually a real career then? What was that point, you think?
I remember the point. I was doing extra work on a commercial. I had moved back home and I was teaching high school.
Okay.
Because my dreams of being on Broadway didn't pan out. Because I had went to New York after I graduated. I'm like, I'm gonna go be a star on Broadway. And then I went to New York. I was like, oh, it's a little
competitive out here.
It's a little competitive. A lot of people. It's dirty. I got to get on the subway.
Oh,
I was coming from Miami, so that was all new territory to me. And so went home, started teaching, started doing like extra work and stuff like that. And I was doing extra work on a Motorola commercial. Remember Motorola? I'm dating myself. I'm dating myself.
Them razors.
Listen. So it's a beach scene. So I have on my bikini, like I'm up on top of like this house that they built and I'm just up there dancing. I'm just cutting up, right?
Yeah,
being silly, making people laugh, because we're extras, right? If you've done extra work, you already know.
Yeah.
So I hear the director go, cut, you in the black bathing suit, come down. I'm like, oh Lord, they about to send me home. So he says, listen, we love what you're doing. We're gonna basically bump you up to a lead. So they did the storyboarding, they did everything, and I'm in the middle and I'm just dancing, being me. And then I got a notice from SAG-AFTRA saying, you're now eligible to join the union. And I had this big check. And that's when my mom was like, you know what, baby?
Chase your dreams.
Chase your dreams, baby. I always believed in you.
I always knew.
You was the one. You was the one. So, people need to see money, right? People need to see that, this is tied to actually having a sustainable living. But people don't understand when you have a passion in your heart, the money thing, it's real because we have to live, but it is not a driving force.
Wow. It's about like actually doing the thing, And I feel like that is discouraging sometimes for like, the aspiring actors out here who do have family members that are like, oh, like you're still acting? Okay, like what have you been in? Have you been in some commercials?
Right.
Have you been, acting with Denzel or something like that? It's like, no, I'm doing like some short films and stuff like that. But
give me some time. Like, let me work it out.
Right, but sometimes people just don't get that. So I'm sure that it felt nice to, to reap those benefits finally after your hard work. But I think that story goes to show with that phrase, right, of like, there's no such thing as a small part, there are only small actors.
Yes.
Right, so like you took that small thing that you did and you was doing your thing, but then you got noticed and they elevated you. Have you found that to ring true for you, like with different scenarios in your life, or like something on the page might have seemed small, but you made it into a great opportunity?
I always look at acting as an opportunity to, one, bring yourself to the character and also craft a character that's fun, that's enjoyable to watch, that also brings truth. I'm in a bikini, I'm on the beach. I'm going to be having a great time. I'm pretty sure there was some margaritas involved, but not for the sake of the commercial, but I'm just saying, like, let's paint the picture, and you craft that in your mind and you create it. And that's what has kept me, I think, in this industry, is because I don't allow myself to be put into a box. And if I have something, my beginning is small and humble, and so I have always been like an advocate for people who like really take small little things that maybe is insignificant to one actor, but to another actor, it's everything, especially in our industry. You know, when you get an opportunity to have a line.
Man, that's a big opportunity.
Huge. Huge. I remember, because I was in Miami for about 2 years before I came to LA, and I was doing a lot of modeling. I was doing anything I can to get on TV. I thought that was the way, like, oh, I'm gonna go do some music videos, because then somebody will see me and put me in some movies. And it didn't work that way. But I did find myself in situations where, you know, I was able to meet people, and I was able to be a part of things that in the end looked small, but it wasn't. So I had an audition for a girl at the club.
Girl at the club.
Listen, stay with me now. It's Miami. It's the beach or the club. It's either or.
I'm with you.
So once again, I had platinum blonde hair, short platinum blonde hair, and I'm dancing in the audition. They loved me, right? So they said, hey, instead of being an extra in the club, we want you to be the assistant for the chief of police in this series. It was called CSI Miss Miami.
All right, Miss Miami.
Miss Miami. It was a pilot. It never went. But Keith David was the police chief. And so I was his assistant. I was just sitting there as an extra. And I remember the director came over. He was like, I'm going to try to get you a line. I'm going to try to get... In my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh. So what started off as just an audition for a background dancer, I end up being on a pilot that was huge in my mind because it's Keith David. You know, hello. So that was my first, I guess, non-speaking TV credit.
Right. No, that's beautiful stuff. I love that. Come on now. In this acting journey, in this acting game, we know one thing that we have to do is auditioning, right? Like, and even big actors, sometimes they talk about how much they hate auditioning. Some actors love auditioning. When it comes to your process, right, when you get an audition, what is your process to preparing for an audition?
As soon as I get the scene or sides, I always ask if there's a script.
Okay.
Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. So if I can get the script in my hands, I'll read the script. And then for the actual audition, I just like to read it a couple times. And then I start to create the objective, the scene objective, or the overall objective. I do my actions. So I just break down the script. Gotcha. And, you know, we don't have a lot of time to prepare, especially nowadays. It's like you may have 2 days to do all of the work that you need. And then life is lifing. So you're like, okay, I got an audition, I got this, I got that. So for me, I don't spend a lot of time like trying to memorize the words. I try to think about, like, once I read the sides, now I'm just thinking about the character. I'm thinking about how she moves, how she behaves, like what she wears. And so now that's going to inform me when I actually put it on tape, because now it's kind of in my body. Yes. And the word, I think we get stuck up on the words, like trying to be verbatim. And that's, I mean, I've done TV and I've done film. You don't have to be verbatim. Like if you're doing stage, that's the difference. You of course you're gonna have to know that script in and out.
Right.
But TV and film, you get multiple takes. So the director's not looking that you know all the words, when to say them, how to say them. They're looking for the character. They're looking to see that you've actually thought about how this person exists in the world and how do you bring that truth to life.
Hey, we want to take a brief pause from the conversation to talk about the sponsor of today's episode, which is us, A to B. Are you looking to create content, but you don't even know where to begin with the gear? Or maybe you started to create content, but you're trying to up the quality a little bit? Well, this offer is for you.
Stop stressing. We know y'all be stressing about what equipment you need to shoot content. Stop it.
Come on.
We're going to show up with all the equipment you need, with the ability to shoot multiple pieces of content across multiple social platforms. This allows you to produce higher quality content, be more efficient,
what else?
And buy back your time.
There you go. Come on now. And we've done this for different people like business owners, entrepreneurs, and even ministries, and the results speak for themselves. So if you're trying to up the quality of your content, hit the link in the description so we can take you from A to B.
Let's go.
Back to the conversation. A lot of times with auditioning, a lot of stuff that we audition for, we're not gonna get, right? And some things that we read and we feel like, man, this would be a great thing to be a part of, then you never get that call for it. Do you have a process for letting go of the audition after you do it? Or has that ever been a problem for you?
Rejection is never something that you kind of figure out, right?
Or you get used to.
Or you get used to.
Okay.
So for me, I've gotten to the point in my career where I'm like, the Most High God is guiding me, and everything that I'm supposed to have, I'll have it.
There you go.
It doesn't matter if it's something that I really, really want. I want to work with this actor. Oh my gosh. You know, I have an opportunity to be on set with this director and this producer and this actress and whatever. That still exists, but the idea of thinking that I lost out on something because I didn't book it,
Wow.
I don't have that ideology anymore. I believe that Euphoria happened, how it happened. Sound of Hope, the story of Possum Trot happened, how it happened. And whatever's next is going to happen, how it happened. Now I'm just super intentional. Back in the day, I was like, I'll take it. Yes to anything. I'm like, yes, I just want to work. I just want to work. Whatever you got, give it to me. Crackhead, give it to me. Yes. Hooker, yes, give it to me. You know, it was anything because I wanted to work and I wanted to show people like, you know, you want to show people I'm here in LA and I'm booking and you look, you know, check me out. But now I'm like, no, thank you. No, thank you.
Wow.
No, thank you. Not because I'm working and I got so much going on. It's just I want to make sure that I'm putting out really great projects. And there's going to be times where I'm just going to say yes to a check. Let's keep it real.
Come on now.
Let's keep it real.
We got bills, got needs.
Keep it 100. Don't be like, yes, I'll take it. But I think overall my mindset has shifted and it's a little more selective.
There we go. I love it. Well, for one, you know that what's for you is for you, right? If you get rejected for something, you know that's right. That's just not for me. But also those things that people do offer to you, you know, to like, boom, keep being this, you know, that like, now you got to be selective with it because it still has to align with who I am and the things that I desire to do. We know that, yes, you'll get rejected and between jobs. And there will be a lot of times sometimes where you might not be acting, right? How do you feel, what is your process like with staying sharp in between jobs though?
I read a lot.
Okay.
I just live life. I don't like, I know people are like, I'm always studying acting. That's not for me. It's not saying that it's a, you know, it's different for every actor. You know, like I own a restaurant with my mom down in Florida. So I'm always doing other things. I have a nonprofit where I go into underserved communities and teach people how to eat more plant-based. So I'm always doing moving and shaking. And so I'm always thinking about acting. And I'm always meeting people and thinking about writing and thinking about directing and thinking, oh, that would be a good story. Or, you know, and I have tons and tons of unfinished scripts. That's what I do have.
All right, come on. We got to read some of those.
I know. I got to finish some of those first. But I'm a creative, so I always find ways to stay creative. I used to be super obsessive about acting. Like I was to the point I didn't have a life. When I moved out here in 2002, I just stayed. I didn't take relationships seriously. I didn't visit my family. I didn't vacation. I was like, I have to make it. I have to. And it was just like, so once I got to a point where, and I'll be honest, when I booked Euphoria, I was like, okay, I was making some money, good money, and I'm like, okay, it's time to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Wow. So the acting is, I love acting, but I'm not super obsessive over it anymore. Maybe it'll change. Maybe I'll hit another win where I'm like, you know, this is all I want to do. But for now, I'm living. You know, I feel like before I wasn't living.
Yeah, no, I hear that, and I feel like our stories within that is weirdly similar. Like, especially me when I first started acting, like coming out of like college and doing like I wanted to live, breathe, eat, just acting, theater, like on YouTube, watching actors on actors, like that's just all I wanted to do, just auditioning and like, you know, relationships, I'll do that later.
Yeah, like, get out of here, I got things to do.
Like what?
Yeah.
But you want to be with me? No, I got an audition tonight, I can't talk to you, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But now I feel like, I act less or I act more so like in the stuff that I create, but I feel like, I kind of stay sharp in the sense of you. Like I'm always still thinking about it. Like I've always think about acting, or I could watch a Euphoria scene and I'm like, ooh, that's cool. Ooh, I would do it like this, or ooh, I would do it like that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like those are ways that we stay sharp as well.
As long as I feel like as long as you're immersed in it in some kind of way, whether that's watching other people's performances, watching YouTube, watching how people approach roles and how directors approach compositions and cinematographers. Like as long as you're in that world, I feel like you're always going to be energetic towards the craft. But of course it always is a different thing when you actually get something in your hand and now you have an opportunity to actually go out and do those things that you've been thinking about.
There you go. Beautiful stuff. As a woman who, like you just talked about, you're doing so many different things while you are still acting. Do you feel like it is important for actors to keep their day jobs? I remember hearing like Octavia Spencer talk about it once. She was like, the thing that kept her going in the pursuit of it was her keeping her job. So like she didn't feel like she was just relying on acting to pay her bills. So do you feel like the same way too?
Yes, especially now. You better have 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs because it's tough out here. And I've always worked. Like I don't know why people think actors have this glamorous lifestyle and we're just sitting at home eating bonbons. Like, oh, I have a callback. Oh, great. Tell my agent I'm not available. I'm eating bonbons. No, you're working, you're hustling. I've worked at Bloomingdale's. I've worked at living assistant homes. I've always had a job, right? Wow. And then when things are really good, then I don't have to work as much. Yeah. But I'd say keep a day job, keep or have other streams of income and try to create those incomes around things that you enjoy. And I think that's the biggest thing, right? Because if you're going to a job that you don't like, you're gonna be miserable, right? But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta pay the bills, honey. You need to DoorDash, Uber Eats, whatever you need to do to make sure that your bills are paid so you can go out and pursue your dreams. Wow. So I'm a big advocate of work. Like I have a job working here. I have a job working here, and I'm gonna always be working. I'm gonna always have that in my mindset. And it may not be what people think a job is, but running a nonprofit is a job.
Come on.
Doing my stand-up comedy, that's another job. It's a creative job, but it's still a job. And I like to work. I'm a hustler. Like I if I'm not working, I feel stagnant, and then I feel like, I'm not being active. And so, sometimes it's hard for me to just sit and rest and be still.
That's a struggle for everybody, I think.
Moving.
Gotta be moving.
Gotta be moving, yeah.
Man, but no, I think that is a great encouragement for actors because, like for me, when I first started acting, I was, I used to work at Smart & Finer, the grocery store, and I was miserable because I hated it and I wanted to be an actor. Like that's what I wanted to do. But I was also like, man, like, what am I doing here? Like, I should just be acting. Like, I'm a big dreamer. Like, I should just fully get into that, right? And I had that flawed mindset of thinking that, like, oh, these actors that I see, they're
not taking it seriously.
Yeah. They would think I'm not taking it seriously then if I haven't quit everything and just did that, right? But I think that is definitely a flawed thinking to have.
Oh yeah.
That was definitely an immature thought that I used to have, but now I know that those actors that you see on the TV, some of them are still.
Listen, we all know, like
some of them are still working.
You saw that viral video of me cleaning kitchens at the restaurant.
Come on now, we'll talk about it.
Listen.
Let's talk about it.
And even though it's my restaurant, it's still a job. I still have to wake up in the morning and go and clock in. And when I say clock in, I mean clock in and not get paid.
There you go.
Because I don't get paid at that job. Wow. And see, a lot of people was like, oh, it's her restaurant, she's fine. I'm like, see, this is what people fail to realize. Restaurants don't make money. Especially now where everybody is like literally struggling to survive, it's very hard for us to stay afloat. But I know our vision is bigger than just a restaurant. We're actually wanting to feed people like healthy options, give people plant-based meals who can't typically afford it, who have no idea that food can actually taste good without meat. Yes, you can eat food and not have a piece of chicken on your plate, folks.
Yikes.
You know, people
Without a lot
think
of protein?
everything. Yeah. Well, you can find ways to. It's so many things so many vegetables that have protein. So
Okay.
it's just open, especially in our community, Black communities. We're very closed-minded when it comes down to a vegan, plant-based lifestyle. So just coming in and educating our people, and then teaching our people that a lot of the stuff that we're eating is really tied to, I hate to say it, when we were enslaved and the things that we were given and that we made into soul food, right?
Okay.
The scraps and the you know, the meats that were not, you know, the best meats, and we had to make things work, and that created culture, right? And that created soul food. But real soul food is food that actually heals your body. And so it, you know, it get deep. It get deep, but you
Sound
know,
like it.
we know we gonna go back to the job. It's still a job. It's still a job. And even educating people is a job.
Come on.
When people walk in that door and they have all these misconceptions about what vegan food is and what it isn't, and I have to just let them know, like, okay, let's take a few steps back and let's talk about it. So yeah, and I find joy in it. I honestly do. I love talking to people about food and herbs and all kind of stuff. Yeah.
That's beautiful stuff. So yeah, definitely great encouragement for actors. Keep your day jobs until you become a series regular or
and even if you do become a series regular, have a little hustle on the side. A little hustle ain't never hurt nobody.
Come on now, it never did. I love it. Well, one big show that you have had the privilege of being a part of is Euphoria. And that's a show that I watch, and congratulations on that big show. You do a marvelous work in there. Talk about that process of you first getting that, right? When it came to you, like, did you audition for it? Was it offered to you? What was the audition process like for that?
Was it offered to me? Boy!
Hey, I mean, somebody could have known you, like, hey, do this thing.
Now, listen, that's what we all want to be, right? The offer stage is where all actors want to be. Forget what you heard. To be offered a role is the pinnacle of success for an actor, right? Because that means someone saw you and they want you.
There we go.
I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet.
We getting there.
But we getting there. So Euphoria was a typical audition. And because my background is comedy, I always like to, meet with my coach because I'm like, I need help. I don't know what is happening in this scene. Oh Lord, I gotta cry, I gotta be sad. I'm like,
Really?
Yeah, so he wasn't available, and so I had to go at it on my own and just walked in, saw every Black actress that I grew up watching, and immediately I had imposter syndrome.
Wow.
I'm like, don't belong here. You're not gonna get it. Why are you here? You're a comedian. You're not a dramatic actor. All the things going in my head, swimming in my head. And I'm like, okay, did my audition, left. And my manager called, I think maybe the next day, and he's like, so you're going straight to chemistry read. And I'm like, what? And he was like, oh, and yeah, by the way, you'll be playing the mother of Zendaya. I was like,
come on.
I'm like, what? That's all God. That's all
him.
God. Because in our industry, you don't go from a pre-read to a chemistry read.
It's a big jump.
Yeah, it's a big jump. And so that's when I knew this was going to be special. And that's when I knew that I was right where I needed to be. God had to remind me that you may feel like you're inadequate, but sometimes in your inadequacy, I need you to trust me, because what this looks like as just a role on a TV show, it's gonna be so much bigger.
Come on now.
And so, yeah, for me, that audition just started with just going in the room and doing what I prepared, and ending up being on a show that's one of the biggest shows on HBO.
When you booked the role, right, whether it was your agent or however you got it, they called you, and you're on the HBO show. What were those feelings like? Did you feel like, Mama, I made it, or this is another job?
I didn't know what Euphoria was going to be.
Okay.
I don't know if I told anybody. I think I probably said, hey, I'm going to be Zendaya's mom, but we didn't know what the show was going to do. And honestly, I've been in TV a long time. You don't know if your scene is going to make the show. You know what I mean? You start bragging and you start, yeah, I'm in the show. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And they looking like, well,
where you at?
Where you at? I've been watching for 15 minutes. I ain't seen you. And so I've learned to just kind of wait and let things be.
There you go.
And then once it did come out and it hit and people were like, yo, first of all, people didn't even know I was an actor like that. You know, a lot of my comedian friends was like, what? Like what?
How you
What?
do
Like
this?
what? Huh? Because people were used to me doing stand-up, doing sketch
Yeah.
comedy. So for me to take a total, you know, dramatic role and do it in a way that was very emotional, I think I was surprised. I know.
Surprised yourself.
Oh
huh?
yeah, I was surprised. I was like,
Wow.
I did that. Really? I did that? Okay. But yeah, even the improv, you know, a lot of our scenes were improv, the fight scenes. So that,
Really?
you know, that groundlings education
on
kicked
now.
in and I was able to use that. So that's why I said, you know, you're looking at improv like it's only comedy, but it
Yeah.
also can be used in drama because you do have the ability to ad lib and do things spontaneous. And I think that only makes the character more interesting because you're not so on the page. And now some directors, they don't like it. But you know,
Yeah.
if you have a good working relationship with the team that's, you know, you're working with, it'll to me, I feel like it only adds to the project.
There you go. I love it. And speaking of that show, I feel like one scene or one episode that really showed everybody's chops for real is, of course, season 2, episode 5. You know, that big scene, blow up scene of you and Zendaya and Storm Reed, the other daughter in there. When you got that on the page, did you know that was going to be a special episode?
Yeah, because it was, I want to say like 15 minutes of just straight, you know, it was one shot. We did everything one shot.
Really, it was one take?
Yeah, it was the whole scene in the hallway and then when they cut to, you know, Jules sitting in the kitchen,
Right.
that was a different setup. But yeah, we played that whole scene all the way through.
Wow.
And yeah, it was a lot. And when we did the table read, I was like, okay, this is somebody winning an Emmy for this. I think I have an idea of who. Z,
Come on.
you gonna do that. And yeah, man, it was just, you know, you never know how, you know something is special when you're reading it, but you really don't know the impact it'll have until you actually see it on TV or on screen and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
You know, like some of those lines, I knew for me that he was gonna allow me to improv. So
Okay.
I had a bunch of lines that I had wrote, you know, that my mom would say to me as a child.
Nice.
Because I don't have kids. I got nieces and nephews. I'm like, I love y'all, but scoot, get away. You got boogers in your nose. Leave me alone. But no, you know, as a mother and having a maternal instinct, I can only imagine, right? You have a
Yeah.
child who's out of control and it's because she's addicted to a drug that maybe you have some type of guilt that maybe you had something to do with it.
Wow.
And so I was just like, hey, I'm gonna have my go-to lines.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if there's ways I can put them in there some kind of way. And, you know, the I raised you, that's, you know, that's Black Mama lingo right there. Like, I raised you, you know, and everything else after that, I don't know where I came from, but I know I had wrote that line specifically, like, I raised you.
Wow.
Because I can remember being a teenager and being out of control. And my mom, you know, little 5'6" lady, I'm 5'10", and she would be like, you know, don't get it twisted. I raised you. Like,
Come
you know,
on,
you
man.
my child. I brought you into this world. I could take you out. You know, you
I
know
know.
how that go, right? Like,
I know that lingo.
So yeah, I think that scene is man, it will definitely go down in history as one of the most powerful scenes on TV.
No, you're out of control.
Put the fucking phone down. Where did you put it? Where'd you put my pills, Mom? Where did you put it?
I'm calling the police.
No, you can't. You can't do that.
You will not attack me in my own home.
I want your own home.
I raised you. I did, okay? And you do not fucking scare me. You're not a good person, Rue.
There we go. And I felt like it's definitely an actor's dream, right? Seeing that on the page and you being able to work with that, you know, is definitely an actor's dream to do something like that. As far as like preparing even for that, was there like a lot of rehearsals or y'all kind of just...
We had a few rehearsals because of the door. and how,
yeah, 'cause her kicking
kicking
that
the
door
door
in.
and stuff like that. But it wasn't too, like, we don't over rehearse on that show, because
Okay.
I think the magic is, having it be spontaneous and having it like come to life as we're doing it. So it wasn't a lot of rehearsals, but it was just like safety things, like, okay, this door is made of this material, so when you're doing this, and so yeah, and it was organic, and we all knew, that day we all knew what we were coming to do.
Wow, I
Yeah.
love it. And it was one take, so I mean, or a lot of it you're saying was one shot, so it felt like kind of theater too,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Do you feel like that theater background, that theater training kind of like helped you for moments like that?
Oh yeah, because LA is a TV and film media. It's not. I don't do a lot of stage plays here, which I would love to do stage plays,
Yeah.
because it, as Denzel say, that's when you really learn how to act.
Oh yeah.
But for that scene specifically, it was just like, let's go, like from the room to the thing, like all of
Yeah.
that, and then the camera wouldn't be on us, it would be on her, but we would still be in it.
There
You
you
know
go.
what I mean? And so it was like you were living in this moment of just, pain and violence, and just like realness. Like this, people text me and DM me all the time on social media, and they're like, yo, this was me. This is how I used to be. This was the scene that got me clean. This was the scene that, I said, what, I'm gonna stay sober. So this show I don't take lightly, at all. When I'm talking about this show, it has a deep impact on not just my craft as an actor, but also as a human, and what people go through and what I went through as a child.
Nice, I love it. So it's a show that made a beautiful impact on you, and it's definitely made a big impact on the world too. Do you feel like after you being in this show, or it still continues to be in the show, has there been a shift in your career?
Yes, there has been a shift in my career, because people think I'm a dramatic actor. And I'm like, I am a dramatic actor, but I'm also a comedian. So it's been a lot of roles that I've been getting are like moms who are crying all the time. And I'm like, okay, like Euphoria, loved it, killed it, nailed it. Sound of Hope, Story of Possum Truck, absolutely loved it. Based on a true story. So, I mean, I met First Lady Donna Martin and Bishop W.C. Martin. I met some of the kids who were adopted and fostered. Love that.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I need the shift to go back to comedy. Like, I'm ready to start laughing. I'm ready to start making
Really?
people laugh. And I think with my new special coming out, Microphone Masters, in a couple days, I feel like the shift is coming.
It's gonna come back.
Yeah, I feel like the shift is now coming, because now people are gonna actually see that I'm actually a legit stand-up. I'm not like somebody that, oh, she does comedy. Like, no, I've been doing stand-up for a long time, and it's something that, like, I've always wanted. Like, I love acting, and people are like, well, which one? Well, if you had to choose, stand-up.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Stand-up comedy is my heart. Like, I grew up watching Def Comedy Jam. I grew up watching In Living Color, wanting to be the characters, going to school, acting it out. And it's so crazy. I saw a documentary on Robin Williams like a couple weeks ago, and they were talking about him being on Mork and Mindy. And then I looked it up and I saw what year it aired, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I was watching Mork and Mindy like when I was 3 and 4 years old. And that was the first time that I was like, I want to, like, that thing that he's doing that's being silly and crazy and making people laugh, I want to do that.
Wow.
So I've always had this kind of like natural inclination to be funny, and also like that fear thing we were talking about, like this terrifying to get up and do something that is so scary, but I know it's gonna bring so much joy.
Yeah, I love it. Man, well, let's go ahead and shift into comedy now.
Right.
Since she's talking about it, this is your love.
Let's talk about comedy. That's all I'm here for.
Forget the dramatic stuff. Let's talk about comedy. Again, like you said, this is why you come out here. This has been your thing for so long, and yeah, by the time this is out, your first special, right?
First comedy special.
Your first comedy special will have been out. How does it feel to now, after all this work that you've done, for your first special to be out?
Oh man, I'm just so full right now. Like, to actually be able to say that I've been in LA, in Hollywood for over 25 years, and I now have my first comedy special. And I've been doing these jokes for a long time. Like, they've been in my repertoire, like, and just honing them and opening them up and learning about how to do something in a different way, or a punchline in a different way, add a beat, add a pause. And so, yeah, I'm excited because I really want people to see me in this light. I really want people to see that, like, oh, okay, like, she's legit. Like, it's not just something that she said, oh, I'm gonna pick up, you know. I'm about to go tell him to shut up. No. He's like, no, please.
Please.
No.
We need him.
Right, he got to make sure the grass is cut.
He did seem like he just came up to the door.
Yeah,
right?
he walked away for 2 minutes, then he came back, y'all ain't doing nothing enough. Like, no, we're trying to be prolific in here. Keep all this.
We're trying to walk into purpose.
Hey, hello.
You said keep this?
Keep all of it.
Oh, you wanted me to keep this in?
You keep whatever you want to keep. This is however you feel.
It's up to
however,
you. You know
you gonna edit it and you gonna chop it up like cocaine, chop it up. Make it special.
I try to look out for my, my
No,
guests
make it
and my
special.
talents. You know what I'm saying?
Make it, I'm fluid. So you do.
And this is the real stuff too. Like,
like we're literally like, and I told you this before we started. Like, I looked at your podcast, Hitting the Mark, and I'm like, you know what? This is what it's about. The reality.
Thank you.
Let's go back. You said a prayer before we got started.
Uh-huh.
The reality of being an actor and being in this business is that sometimes things are not gonna always be perfect. We got somebody mowing the yard. I think he got the lawnmower on the porch, like in the crevices of the door, because it's so loud. And because we know sound is so important,
wow.
We know that, like, there's going to be some maybe extra steps to remove it, or maybe not. Depending on how your software is. You know what I'm saying? What kind of budget you working with?
You gonna see. You gonna see.
You gonna see. So, and I'm rolling with the punches. I'm rolling with the punches.
Man, I remember actually having a conversation with my dad about it. He was reading this book. I forget what it's called. I don't want to butcher it all, but it was talking about, like, the universe or the world, like, it's set up in a way that, like, anytime that you set out to do something, there's gonna be opposition.
Yes.
Right? Like me saying at 12 o'clock, we're gonna sit down and do this interview.
Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. The gardener's gonna be outside mowing this lawn super loud, right?
Yeah.
And some people's gonna take that as, oh, this is a sign that I'm not supposed to be doing this. Oh, well, let's reschedule.
Right.
Let's do it next week, or let's do it next month.
Right.
But I think God puts those things in front of you to say, can you take this and keep pushing forward?
Yes.
Can you take these obstacles and keep doing it? And that's going to show me that this is something that you actually want.
Yeah, that's
right?
real.
Because that's what life is
like.
right?
And right now we're in purpose, like you said. So we right where we need to be.
Literally right where you need to be. You're just gonna stand flat-footed in it and keep pushing. Phone
and
dropping.
Keep pushing.
And all that. Yeah.
Keep pushing.
Come on now, that's what you gotta do. You doing comedy and stuff, do you feel like being great at comedy has helped you with drama, right? There are these phrases, right, that people talk about, like how the best comedic actors are also the best dramatic actors. Do you feel like that your time of doing comedy kind of helped you with your time in Euphoria too?
Definitely.
Okay.
Being a comedian or a dramatic actor, I think it's all about pain. It's all about how you process pain. Okay. Most comedians have very dark and depressed and anxiety-filled lives. Yeah. And they find ways to go on stage every night and make people laugh, despite going through so much. And that's the gift, right? Taking something that is almost meant to destroy you and use it to bring joy and laughter to someone, because that's what life is about, right? You got to laugh to keep from crying. And I always feel like, being funny or being silly has always been a defense mechanism for me. Yeah. And it only informs my work. So, whether now, but now I'm comfortable with it, because now I know that I can do both. I don't have to choose, because I remember back in the day when you came to Hollywood, you had to be in one thing. Mm-hmm. And when I told people that I did multiple things, it was like, oh, no, you can't. You have to choose this one thing. And I'm like, why? And then you realize now people expect you to do multiple things. They want you, what else you got? What else can you do? And so now it's like I was just a little bit, ahead of my time. But now I'm like, okay, let's sit in that and be okay with that.
Come on, sitting and being okay. Like we're sitting in all the things that's going on in this house right now.
Yes.
But we're sitting in it.
We're here.
We're here though.
We're sitting in it.
We're here. Come on now. I love it. That's great encouragement for everybody.
We're all trauma bonding on social media. We're all trying to get into therapy. But my thing is this. Sometimes some stuff should not be on social media. Oh my God, it's overboard, right? Because we don't go to therapy in this country. We go to TikTok. And the selfie videos, the breakup selfie videos, y'all know these videos. Soon as somebody get out of a relationship, new me, new life. No, it's not. No, it's not. You still the same raggedy you was 2 hours ago. You log off and go get some healing, you know?
But now, yes, you are a dramatic actor and you are a comedian, but you're also a woman of faith. Seeing that, doing my research on you, find out that's definitely a big part of your life. How do you feel like your faith influences the roles that you play?
So I wasn't always very open and bold with my belief in Christ. You know, I was very timid because, in Hollywood, it's not really celebrated when you talk about Jesus.
Right,
when
it's
you talk about Yeshua. So I've had to learn that that's the trick of the enemy, to make you feel like, don't talk about God. Don't say Christ's name, because then you're going to be ostracized. You're going to make people uncomfortable.
Wow.
But that's the whole point of believing in Christ, right? Is to bring people to him. And sometimes that's not going to be, glitter and bubbles. Like, it's not going to be easy. And so being a woman of faith, I've always, I grew up in the church. My mom was adopted by a pastor and his wife. So it was always like church, choir rehearsal, church. But
Same.
I didn't really understand God, and I didn't really know God in an intimate way until I came out to Hollywood, and you really go through the darkness of this industry and the things that people will do to get ahead. And so you have to have some other kind of belief, because if you don't, you'll start doing what they're doing now to get ahead, and backbiting and betrayal and deceit and lies. And so now you become like the world. So now for me, I'm like, I'm sold out. If God ain't giving it to me, I don't want it.
I love it.
You got it. That's all you, dog.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Where do you think that shift came from for you? I feel like it's the same way for me. Yeah, like I've grown up in church, grown up in faith. Yeah, like, my dad is a pastor and everything. But yeah, like you said, like in the world or even in the business, definitely it's not something that you put on Main Street. It's something that you kind of like keep kind of in the back burner until somebody brings it up, like, oh, you know Jesus? Oh, I know Jesus too. Then you can start talking about it. When did that shift happen for you, from when it became a thing on the back burner to now you put it on Front Street?
The moment I booked Sound of Hope, the story of Possum Trot, I knew that the Most High was doing something in my life that I had to tell. Like, I couldn't keep it to myself. I had to tell somebody. I had to tell everybody. I couldn't keep it to myself because I knew that the industry will attempt to quiet your voice in so many different ways, and especially talking about Christ and talking about Jesus and even saying his name, right? It's almost taboo. And I think that's why the industry is so dark. And that's why people get away with so much, because the people who are meant to bring light have been convinced that you won't work, or you won't get ahead, or you won't be successful. And the truth of the matter is, having cars and money and houses and mansions and clothes and jewelry and all that stuff, that is a false idea of success. That's not real. And we know Hollywood ain't real. So all of the things that Hollywood can give you is not real. What about peace? What about joy? What about love?
Truths.
What about things that really matter in this world when you're pursuing something that you want so badly, and you have to come to the conclusion that, The Most High is not going to bring you somewhere and leave you.
Yeah.
You know, so that shift happened as soon as I booked that role, playing a first lady, and the magnitude and the depth of what this woman and her family did for kids who were in the foster care system. That my mom was also in the foster care system, and that I didn't know this. My siblings and I were also fostered. Like, we were never adopted, but when my mom was getting clean, we were being fostered by different families. And so I was just, it's nothing but the grace of God that, come on, man, I can't, come on, I can't. Like, at this point in my life, if you think I talk about Jesus too much, whoop-de-doo. Whoop-dee-doo. That's all I got to say. Whoop-de-doo. Like, you just keep scrolling, because on this page and on my page and on my platform, it's going to be all glory goes to the Most High God, period.
There you go. Come on now, because it ain't us.
It ain't us.
It ain't us.
Exactly.
It's God who gave us the gifts, and we just using them to glorify Him.
Yes.
You talked about those things like bringing peace, about love, about kindness, and those are really just like the fruits of the Spirit, right? And those are things that people should experience from you, and you're not even telling them that you're a believer. You're not even telling them that you follow Christ, but they should just experience that from you. But do you feel like that's important for you to bring that onto set, to carry yourself in that way to where people can recognize that in you too?
Definitely. Every job, every project, everything that I'm involved with, I am speaking to every person I see.
Love it.
I mean, as time is permitted, I'm having conversations. I'm getting to know people, because you don't know why you're there. You may be there to touch one person that's suicidal, and they think, okay, once I'm done with this gig, I'm taken out. And you say one thing, and you plant a seed, and you tell them about the goodness of God, and you talk about Christ, and you talk about things that they may never have heard from any. They may have seen it online but never really experienced it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, sometimes people need to experience God. And I think that's why I'm in the industry, is that I want to be a reflection of that. Like, everything I do, I want to be able to say, you know, I'm moving in purpose, and I'm moving in alignment, and I'm praying to the Most High, and I'm letting the Holy Spirit guide me, and I'm leaning in on not just wanting the things that I want and going after the fleshly things, but really moving in the Spirit. Moving in the Spirit and allowing my gifts to shine in so many ways, because people fail to realize, like, the gifts that you have been given by the Most High is not for you.
Talk about that.
It's not for you. I know initially you may feel that way, but really it's to, one, glorify Him, and also show people that God is real. God sees us, and He only wants the best for us. You know, He don't want you miserable. He don't want you sad. He don't want you depressed. He want you to have the things that you desire.
There you go. I definitely do agree with that 100%. And I used to be on the other side of that, right? I used to think that, you know, this gift that I have of acting or of like of public speaking, it was for the sake of me being in the limelight, or for the sake of me being on stage or whatever like that. But that's very minimal thinking, that's small thinking. But that's not why He gave us this. He gave it to us to use the gifts, but ultimately to glorify God, right? For somebody to encounter with me, be like, man, why are you such a nice person?
Yeah.
Why are you always in here smiling? Why do you come and speak to me and I'm just like a PA, you know what I'm saying? But
exactly.
to then, you know, to them to see that light in you and to, you know, be attracted to you, then you bring that, you tell them where that light comes from.
Exactly.
Right? And that light comes from the Most High,
Yes.
like you are saying. Look, this conversation has been dope. On your Instagram, you recently posted something and you had this caption under it, which I really loved. It says, when you walk in purpose, you don't chase, you attract. And I really love that. And I feel like we're in a world right now where it's all about the chase, right? You chase the bag.
Yeah.
You gotta chase the dream, chase the girl, whatever. In this world that we live in, where do you feel like you adopted that mindset?
I had to come to a point in my life where I realized that everything that I want, I already have. So everything that I literally desire, it's already there. I just have to walk into it, right? And that first comes with, you know, being in alignment, right? It's like you tapping in here to get here. You know, it's about praying, it's about meditating, it's about waiting and waiting in a spirit of positivity and not like, where's my stuff? I want it now. It's about, honoring God. It's about obeying God. And so once you kind of sit in that and see the Most High has made us promises that he's not a man, like he's not going to lie. He's not going to change his mind. So you have to remind the Most High that, okay, you promised me this. And that's going to ignite something in you to show, like, if somebody's told you, I'm going to give you, I promise you, I'll be there for you tomorrow at 7 a.m. You're expecting that person to show up, but he's also a man. So you also know that there's a possibility 7:15 come around, that Negro ain't showing up.
You're going to get a text, hey, I'm sorry,
man,
bro.
Something came up, man. I really want to be there for you. Sheesh. But when the Most High promise you something, you can stand on business that is going to happen. And so I just sit in that and I just wait. And I know that everything that I'm supposed to have, I'm gonna, like a magnet, it's gonna come to me. The people that wanna work with me, the jobs that I want, the money that I desire, the opportunities that will come to me. I'll just sit and I'll wait. Because guess what? Me going around trying to, and that's what I did for a long time, and people think, oh, you paid your dues. No, I kind of spent my wheels a lot of times because you spend so much time trying to make something happen, and when it doesn't happen, then you're hit with this blow of like, man, I'm not enough. I don't have talent. I'm doing this wrong, and it's just like, no, you just have to kind of sit in that space of like, everything that I'm supposed to have will come to me when it's supposed to come to me.
Wow.
But you have to get there. Nobody just wake up and get there. That's why it's called life. You keep experiencing things and life keeps showing you who you're becoming. You're never gonna just get all the lessons at once. Every time God takes you from glory to glory to glory to glory, meaning 10 years ago, I wasn't here. God had to show me glory, glory. Okay, now you learning there, glory, glory. And you're constantly becoming the person that the Most High created you to be. And once you walk in that you're finally fully realized and the anointing is flowing, I'm sure you've been places and people just come up to you. Yeah. And they want what you have.
Wow.
And that's when you're like walking in your purpose.
Wow.
That's when you know this is where I'm supposed to be. And that's where I'm at right now.
There you go. That's beautiful stuff right there. But talk about like how hard that is though, right? Like you've heard this promise from God of these gifts that you have and like where you're gonna be. But like, God, right now I'm door dashing.
Yeah.
Like right now I'm barely making ends meet though. Like now I wanna go and do this thing, right? It makes me think of like, in the Bible of Joseph, right? Joseph was given that dream from God, right? That he would be lifted up and his brother's gonna bow down and all this stuff. But then he went to jail. He was lied on. He was in the pit. His brother sold him into slavery. Like, if I had that dream, I'm thinking this is gonna happen right now. But Joseph was a guy who had to sit in it and go through those turmoil and those pains. Give that encouragement to somebody who has felt that calling from God, but like it ain't happening right now,
That's a great story you brought up with Joseph of all the things that he had to go through before he basically stepped into the dream, right? That he knew God said that he would have. But think about all the things that happened to him and how it prepared him for that moment. Like, God don't waste nothing. He uses everything that you have gone through to put you in a place where he knows how you're going to be able to deal with the people that put you in the pit.
There you go.
Your own brothers put you in the pit. Jeez. And now they're coming to you to be fed. And now they don't even recognize you because, see, God has a way of using everything that has happened to you, good, bad, some of the worst things have happened to people, and they still come out believing in the Most High and believing that everything happened for a reason. And I feel like that's what you have to hold on to. You're going through your pit moment. You're going through the pit right now. And right now it's down to the wire. But guess what? The Most High, what did he say? Do not be anxious for anything, but in everything, through prayer and thanksgiving, make your request known to him, and he will give you peace beyond understanding. And that's the number one thing that people have to hold on to. Hold on to your peace. I mean, fight for your peace. Don't worry about no money. Don't worry about no job. Don't worry about people, relationships, people that did you wrong. Hold on to your peace, because that's what's going to keep you centered in God's grace. You know, knowing that like I didn't go out and do what I wanted to do. I didn't crash out on somebody that I should have crashed out on. I say, you know what? I give it to you, Father. I put it in your hands. I release it. Because what the Most High can do to them is listen, once he get a hold to you, once you find yourself in the hands of the Most High, that's a horrible place to be in, especially if you've done wrong. So you let that go and you just stay in peace.
There we go. Wow, you see, I really feel like this conversation is in purpose because my dad really just spoke about that scripture on Sunday. And he talked about how, yeah, when you're praying to God, he might not send you a check in the mail. He might not heal your body. He might not do that thing for you right now. But what God is going to give you is peace. So while you're in the pit,
Beyond understanding.
Beyond understanding.
Right. Like peace, like you got to understand there's peace, and then there's peace like it's almost scary. Like, why am I so at peace with this?
Man.
Like, this is wild, you know?
It's chaos right now. Why am I so peaceful?
Because it doesn't mean that everything's going to be fixed. It doesn't mean that everything's perfect now, that things are flowing in the way you want it to flow. No, it's just your response is more centered around the understanding that the Most High is working it out.
Come on now. And he's got you. We cast all of our cares on him, so we have nothing to worry about. Listen, the title of this show is Hitting Your Mark. And in this conversation, we talked a lot about alignment and about purpose. And I felt like in life, you know, in order to reach that purpose, we have to hit certain marks along the way on that journey. So I'm curious to know, for you, Miss Nika King, what does hitting your mark look like?
Hitting my mark is going to choke the guy who's cutting the grass. That would be hitting my mark. I will choke him out really quick because I want him to stop, but no, let me stop.
I thought you was about to say something so deep. You see,
you like, you know
comedy,
what, girl?
Man, look,
Okay.
if this podcast is not pitching this comedy special, I don't know.
Hello.
I don't know.
Affion Crockett presents Microphone Masters on Zumo Play and Xfinity. Okay.
There we go.
Back to business.
Is it?
Okay. Hitting my mark. Hitting the mark for me is doing everything that I want to do in excellence. That's the thing, right? I find myself sometimes, you know, shortcutting stuff, and I'm like, no. Do it with excellence, so that at the end you could say, I did everything I could to make this project or this opportunity the best. You know, like, I think we spend a lot of time trying to just do things and put it out there. Just, okay, content, go, you know, just be in movies, go, be in TV shows, go. It's like hitting the mark for me is just moving with excellence and moving in a way that is so top tier that you look back and you say, okay, I did that, but I know the next thing is even going to be better. So it's going, every time you do something, it's like hitting the mark. It keeps moving for me. And the mark is never having one thing and be like, I did it. It's like, no, now let's go to the next level. And I feel like it's only the beginning. You know, like, I used to think Euphoria was everything. I'm like, oh my gosh, Euphoria is like the pinnacle of like, oh my gosh, like I can stop acting now. Then I was like, hold on, you just scratching the surface.
Come on now.
You hit your mark there, but now what's next?
Come on now. It's so much greater that's in store for you.
Yes.
You know, that's going to be further out. Look, this conversation has been dope, but before we get up out of here, tell the people how they could connect with you and support everything you got going on.
You want me to do that?
Oh, yeah, do that right there. Right there.
Okay, so you can follow me on all platforms at I am Nika King, and Nika is spelled Nika. King is King. And
Yeah.
just a little fun fact, Nika actually means victorious in Greek. So go out there and be victorious because the battle is already won.
Come on now. I love it. And your special, that's out?
Yes,
Come
my
on now.
special. Affion Crockett presents Microphone Masters Season 2. It's coming November 13th on Zumo Play and Xfinity. And if this is past November 13th, go and find it, go and watch it. It's everywhere now. So just type Nika King.
Type it in. Come
Microphone
on now.
Masters. Bam.
Yeah.
I found her. There she go.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I will make sure to link all of that in the description so everybody can follow you and check out everything that you have going on. Listen, I was super inspired by this conversation, and I pray that our viewers were too. And if you were, feel free to like this video. And also comment something down below. Miss Nika King was dropping some good gems.
Hello.
She was dropping some good gems. So drop those down into the comment section. We would love to see it. And then last but definitely not least, feel free to subscribe to the channel so you can stay connected with us and see future episodes that we have coming up. Thanks once again to Miss Nika for being on the platform with me. We'll catch you on the next one.